Hello and welcome to Black Bear Atheist. Today we're gonna check out more of Frank Stepen. He's a Nigerian and he has a channel named A Nigerian Perspective with Frank Stepen. Today we're gonna watch his video that says, title being Nigerian destroys woke TikTok on colonialism. Okay. So we're gonna check that out and see what we can learn from this.
The issue of colonialism have been coming up on my radar recently, especially after King Charles's coronation, because as we all know, it is a crime to ever celebrate the British monarchy.
It's not a crime, but I think people cared too much when Queen Elizabeth died. I mean, I'm not saying, okay, maybe this will sound weird, but people do die like every day. And she's not really that much of a she wasn't like a saint. Someone to be like, oh my god, she's dead. Oh my god, I feel so bad. I mean, like, again, this is just my opinion. She wasn't like Chadwick Boseman. No, she was busy. She was someone that actually did not even stand up against things that are considered immoral today. And people will give the excuse of it's all time. Well, it doesn't excuse the fact that she did not do anything. There were people doing something during those times. There were people that were against colonization against that time. But she stand for that. This is just my personal view on this shit. Let's move on.
But it's not like I'm a huge fan or anything. I'm an Igbo man and my people don't have kings. But anyway, this video will be about colonialism. We'll be attending the great...
They don't? They're interesting.
Modern citadel of learning that is TikTok and see what those brilliant online historians and philosophers have to say about the subject. So here we go.
Okay, maybe everyone but me knew this, but I just learned from the book I'm reading, I'll put it right here, that the 3 meals a day thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is from colonialism and white supremacy.
Here we go again.
That when the European colonizers came and saw the indigenous people eating when they were hungry, they were like, they're savages, they are uncivilized. They're savages. Because the white Europeans differentiated themselves from animals who would graze for their food when they were hungry by setting distinct meal times that correlated with time of day. And so that is why we eat 3 meals a day instead of just eating when we're hungry, because the colonizers thought that that resembled animals too much.
Yeah, it's colonialism.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is a fact. Honestly, I want to search them up, but that's really not what this video is about. This video is like a chill, relaxing. I am not gonna try to do too much work. I don't even want to do too much editing. That may sound lazy. Hell, it is lazy and I don't care. Now you're gonna try to respond to her and destroy her. If you can present like evidence of if she's actually wrong, and you argue based on, just on nothing, then you're not doing any better than her. Let's just keep going. Let's see what he says.
And white supremacy, the usual suspects. Here in Africa, some people can barely afford a meal a day. But then these white supremacists and colonialists called UNICEF started running food programs and racist humanitarian activities. And that's just wrong, right? Right?
That's stupid.
But seriously, only Europeans ate 3 times a day?
What? Okay, that's not what she's saying. She's saying the idea of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like having a time for that. I think it's like 7, 12, and like 6. I'm not sure what I'm saying here, but there's technically a time period for those meals to be taken. She's saying those develop through the idea, through the start of like colonization. When they see that these people are savages, we need to be different because we're a superior race, which they're not. There's no evidence for that. No, they're just not. There's no superior race. Race is also a social construct. So with that, they develop it. again, I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm not sure if this is true. I'm just saying that's what she's saying, and you're not really doing her well by not even understanding what she's saying.
Other peoples of the world did not. You are telling me that the rest of us didn't structure our eating? We just ate like pigs until they came out of our noses and eyes? So other cultures in the world...
Okay, that's not what she was saying though. Actually, no, that's not what she was saying. She's saying the development of the idea of putting in a time structure and eating not when you're hungry but in a timely manner was developed through that. Actually, in a sense, you could say she was implying that prior to that, people were eating, well, people in Native America and like below sub-Saharan Africa were doing this. Maybe she was implying that. Let's keep going.
We are just too dumb to have a structured eating habit. No, that's what is white supremacists and colonialists, thinking that other cultures are so stupid that they eat like mindless broilers. And for what? So you can validate the eating habit of fat people because not wanting to stuff McDonald's down your pie hole is deeply rooted in white supremacy? And since it was written in a book, it has to be true. Anyone who wants to sell stupid ideas to these people just have to write it in a book and they will buy it wholesale. I mean, Jesus.
He's a Christian, by the way. He's a Christian. He believes the Bible is accurate description of truth. Again, this man is a Christian and he's talking about books. Just because it's written in a book doesn't mean you have to believe it, but he's a Christian. And the Bible has no other evidence supporting its dumb claim except for the Bible. And also, please ignore the music in the background. That's my roommate.
Christ, think for yourself for once.
With all due respect, sometimes no respect.
Okay, also lastly, just because actually you didn't disprove what she was saying though. You didn't, again, this is what I mean. You didn't bring up any evidence to disprove or claims. And also, you know what? I'm gonna stop being lazy and actually search this up. Okay, I'm back. I love doing research, at the same time I hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. So she apparently was up to something. Though the book she has on her page right there, the purple book, really wasn't have nothing. I don't know how that's what she took away from the book, because that was not what the book was supposed to be about. The book was supposed to be about sexuality and a black perspective on that. The book is probably a good book and deeper on meaning, but I don't think what she got from the book make any sense, even though the author could have mentioned something like that. There is another book that did address this. The name of the book is Theory Square, The Invention of the American Meal. It's by Abigail Carroll. So that's more of a better book to actually read, to tell you in details of how this came to be. It wasn't like the idea before that wasn't like they actually did add like structural meal. They never took it serious. It was taken for granted. And then when they found out the Native Americans don't actually have the structural meal that they have, they found out to be like, animals. And that is not right. Now they take it more seriously. That's really what happened. It wasn't like they just found out, oh, we should have 3 meals, like as soon as they see the Native Americans. That's not what happened. So she was painting the picture a little wrong here. Moving on.
Do.
I mean, this is just annoying as hell. The fact that all that matters to these woke morons is the fact that the Nigerian court system adopted this European fashion. But these people don't go beyond that. Oh, how horrible, right? Nigerians are so brainwashed by colonialism and white supremacy that we wear wigs and gowns. Do you know what some of us didn't wear before colonialism? Clothes and shoes. We didn't have...
So it's going there. they were okay with wearing no clothes and no shoes. What were we all wearing, including all races, when it was just hunters and gatherers? I don't know. It depends on where you are. If you're in the north, you're wearing clothes. If you're in the south, mostly you don't want to put on clothes since, what is it again? It's extremely humid and hot. And also, I feel like he's talking out of his ass here. And since I already did some research, now I'm gonna do more. I was not planning on doing this. Idiot. I'm back. And thank you for making me do more research. Every time I see this guy, it just gets on my nerves. Anyways, what I found was not really something that I didn't know before. I just want to make sure I'm not speaking out of my ass, just like he is. Before colonization, Africans weren't just walking around naked. Again, there was a video of Frank is reminding me of Frank Turek. There was a video of Frank Turek agreeing with this dumb bozo saying, "Oh, Africa and their culture of women running around naked." I mean, where do you get that idea from? Yes, there's some indigenous people in Africa before colonization, even after colonization, that don't have a complex clothing as some others. But does that mean they did not wear anything? Does that mean they were waiting on, the European countries to save them from the fact that they were nudist? I mean, I don't know what you want me to say here, Frank. You're not making any sense. And I feel like this is through the influence of Christianity. Think about it. This man is literally licking their ass. If you're telling me that this is what he's thinking, this is what he looks like, this is his mindset. Before colonization, Africa was nothing. After colonization, Africa was something. And now, Africa is struggling with, what you call it? It's struggling because the politics are corrupt. That is his mindset. There is no, maybe colonization is the result when colonization happened and the entire continent is given a system that literally oppressed them, a system that doesn't work for them. You're gonna have people that are gonna be corrupt. You're gonna have people that are gonna be corrupt when the country is only 62 years old? Again, it's not making any sense here. And the fact that people listen to this fool is so fucking annoying. We're 2 minutes and 31. Is worse. Is worse than Frank Turek. Is worse than Frank Turek. I mean, it's worse than Frank Turek. I don't want to compare them, but he's worse. It seems like he has a computer right in front of him to actually search the truth. And he decides to just venture into bullshit. A quick Google search would actually explain further of what the first video TikTok was saying. Though that woman did weirdly read a wacky ass book that was really not about anything about diet. But she was onto something. And you just here denying the obvious truth. Saying before Africa was colonized, people were running around naked. No. What do you think the culture of the clothing agbada that we have in Yoruba culture, the Igbo having their own, style? Do you think that come from colonization? Are you fucking dumb, bro? Just stupid. And I take it back. It's not that he's worse than Frank Turek. It's because he's a Nigerian. And I'm a Nigerian. I'm tough on my people. And that's why at first I thought too, hey, the problem is the government being corrupt. But no, you can't say in 62 years for the government that's been in democracy for what, 20 something years to be United fucking States. That's not how that work. Back to the video. I'm sorry.
Have those, and most of our modern customary attire is made in Europe. Yes, because wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton was.
Yeah, but the style wasn't from Europe. The style was not from Europe. That was not developed in Europe and then brought to Africa. That was already there.
Wasn't my ancestors' taste in fashion. They preferred leaves and raw animal skin. Now we all want to be red cap chiefs and wear a shiago made in Holland and cook stockfish imported from France while riding a Benz made in Germany. If you want to whip and
which brother are you talking about? Again, I don't feel like this guy actually has the actual Nigerian perspective. The average Nigerian is not wearing Louis Vuitton and driving fucking Mercedes. And yes, Africa is full of culture. There's riches there. There are rich people there. The place is not filled with jungle like people think about. But don't bullshit me and say it's, some paradise. It's not.
and shake your head over the fact that we love our blonde wigs and black gown, then you should do this.
Which is influenced by colonization. And for someone that have never seen that yet, yes, it's a cultural shock. Is it shockness? It's a cultural shock. Yes. So, again, it's just shocking to her that she's seeing black people wearing a white wig for court.
The same with the fact that we wear clothes, or the fact that we have schools and universities and hospitals.
Also, nothing about clothes. Nothing about clothes. How did we venture? This is why. Okay, it is Frank Torek. This is why. How did we get to clothes? That's a very nice building, by the way. I like the design.
Hospitals, we drive cars, we use iPhones and eat French fries and omelets. Just be consistent, right?
Not gonna happen.
And by the way, common law in Nigeria was a major blessing. It eradicated so many barbaric norms that will make your jaw drop in horror when you learn about them. And the major problem with our judiciary today is corruption. But you don't care about that.
The majority with it's corruption. Yes, we understand that. But why the corruption to begin with? You gotta look at the past. It seems like you expect them to just become. There were still people alive today. Think about it. Your last president, I believe this is the last president of Nigeria, Buhari, he was alive when this country gained independence. There's still people alive in Nigeria today that was alive when the country gained independence. That's how young this country is. And is Buhari, who is older than the country, perfect? Is he actually? Is he? Does he got his life figured out? No, he doesn't. So if a country is 62 years old and you expect it to have everything in order, you all bullshitted.
Africa doesn't matter to you until you present something that remotely affirms your victim narrative.
You know what's funny? I think we're just now starting to realise the effect of colonialism, not just in countries, but in the workplace, and in systems, and in organisations, and in so many different ways, right? Here's something I'll tell you. As a Nigerian man who has a British accent, every time I go back home to Nigeria...
He's annoying me. But how does he find these people? As a Nigerian man with a British accent, it's like, you know what? I will keep on track and continue just talking about my Nigerian brother.
My accent is literally revered by people, which is mental to me, right? I can say the most off-the-cuff, useless thing, and people think that it's the smartest thing because the colonialist mindset is still there.
Honestly, I can't stand this.
The eye of...
I wouldn't even say it's a colonialist mindset. It's just a British accent. It's just the British accent. Trust me when I say it's just the British accent that makes you seem like you're a smart person, and that has really I don't think actually actually why is it just well the Australian accent too to an extent.
Been conquered mindset is still there. And similarly, in my corporate America lifestyle, there are certain things that I can say that
Oh yeah, the Concord mindset is still there.
my American counterparts or even my black American counterparts could say, and if I
I mean, you could just look at how we treat white people coming into our country versus how they treat us when we go to their countries.
literally just repeat it, it sounds smarter. It's terrible. It's fing awful.
Yes, I mean, you know when ladies used to fall head over heels in love with men with a French accent, an Australian accent, or any foreign accent.
I love your accent.
You know, a South African accent was once voted one of the sexiest accents in the world.
Was it? Okay, that's interesting.
That happened. But God forbid that a Nigerian is fascinated by a British accent. The only possible explanation.
But okay, sexy accent is different from just because you're saying something, you could say rubbish just because of your accent, you'll perceive as a smart person. Do you not really get what did you just skim over everything he said? Now I don't think it was making the most complete sense, but again, he has to an extent a point here. Okay? Just because of your accent does not mean you're saying something insightful. You see this in America. There are people with accents are ignored on certain levels because the locals are like not intellectual. I don't know. It's just a society. It's weird.
For that is colonialism, nothing else, right? It is a colonialist mindset. It is a I have been conquered mindset. I mean, you really have low regards for Nigerians.
How dare you?
I mean,
You are making sure I have low regards for my fellow Nigerian. Honestly, I've always want to go back home, and I hope I go back home soon one day. But you are lowering my expectations of Nigerians. If half of the population think like you, and because you're a Christian, and the other half thinks like we're probably gonna look at some Nigerian Muslims soon. Hopefully, we have a problem of both sides just owning in on the religion, and the country is falling apart. All of them praying to their invisible sky daddy. One hoping for the next life to have 72 virgins in their heaven. And the other just hoping to, meet Jesus that is the same as God and the same as the Holy Ghost. Again, we have an issue. And yet, at the same time, this bozo expects a country that's 62 years old with all this issue to be United States of America. Makes some sense.
Nigerians feel inferior. Nigerians feel conquered. Nigerians, the proudest set of people to walk the face of the earth. Those Nigerians. You clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're not necessarily the proudest, and the entire nation needs a national therapy session. How the entire continent need a therapy session.
No, because Nigerians do not Nigerians and humility don't mix.
Do you know how much
Yes, they do.
we take pride in our customs and how often we make fun of Nigerians in the diaspora and the fact that living abroad doesn't allow them to fully learn or express the many beautiful aspects of the diverse customs this country is blessed with? Do you know?
Didn't you? Okay. This man just said before colonization, we were naked, walking naked around the entire country. After colonization, we somehow have culture. Where does those cultures come from? Did the Europeans bring their culture in and that becomes our culture now? Because that's not what we see, right? Again, make some sense. You're contradicting yourself in a 6-minute video.
How often Nigerians will make fun of you for not knowing how to speak your local dialect, or the fact that you have all English first and last names.
I guess they're gonna make fun of me because I'm losing a little bit.
It's like me and Shocker. Speaking properly commands some level of respect. Why? Why is that? Why pay more attention to someone with a lovely accent? It can only be colonialism, right?
Ridiculous.
I mean,
again, it's not just paying attention. Just if people find the British accents to be sexy and French to be sexy and attractive, it's different from finding those that speak it to be smart. Just because you speak an accent doesn't mean you're smart. Do you not understand that? The accent itself could be sexy and attractive, but saying the people that speak it are smart just because they have that accent, it's dumb.
the fact that this AU is a Nigerian just annoys me. It make my
The fact that you're a Nigerian annoys me too, bro. But here we are. My blood overflow. Here we are.
blood boil. All that accent, yet no sense.
Lord have
All that accent, yet no sense. Same to you, bro. All that Nigerian genes, being the proudest people on the planet, yet you don't have any common sense. You can do yourself a favor and do a quick Google search to find out whether what you're actually saying is true. To see how much you're contradicting yourself. You said earlier, just because it's in a book doesn't mean you believe it. You need to believe it. But that's exactly what you're doing with the religion that you're placing on your head, which is causing hate to the LGBT community. That is exactly what you're doing, bro.
mercy.
Maybe he's right. He could be right. Maybe it is a colonialist mindset after all.
Yes, it is.
Maybe that's the only reason anyone will listen to what he has to say, because clearly he has nothing to say that closely resembles, a logical statement.
A 6-minute video and I end up doing over 20-minute. I don't like this guy. Because he's a Nigerian, I am watching this. Because I feel like there's something here. The religious influence over the country is something that we need to point to. The other video he was talking about, it's the corruption, it's the blah blah blah, it's the blee blee blee. But if the entire country has so much religious influence, there is a problem. There is going to be a problem. Hell, we're already having the problem. Again, they were given a system by their colonizers that don't work. Guess what America does? Have a secular state yet? Yes, we have religious issues, but it's a secular state. Guess what UK have? A secular state. Secular countries actually do well and do better than religious states. And that's what people, I find out. If Nigeria really want to be successful, we need to also do that. Let people live. That's just my own opinion on this. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Have a great day.